Hello and welcome to the first episode of Quarter Circle Forward podcast. This is the first of what I hope to be many episodes. I guess we'll start by introducing ourselves. So I'm Mickey, also known as Lazarus, also known as Soren, also known as Dungo Slam, also known as Agent 00 Hadouken, by some.
It never ends. Never
But
ends.
I think my main alias will probably go as Lazarus. And my co-host, if you want to introduce yourself.
All right, I'm George, also known as Law. That's it. I'm sticking with that.
It's probably simple that way. So
we play lots of fighting games and play lots of Smash Bros. Whether you consider it the same thing, up to you, but something we'll probably discuss at some point.
Alright, well, I guess what we want to do with this podcast is, obviously with the name like Quarter Circle Forward, it's going to be kind of fighting game focused, so in general, at least the first few episodes are probably going to be fighting game focused, and then from there we have lots of other interests, so we kind of want to branch out and talk about other topics such as like different types of media, like politics sometimes, it could be, anything that we find interesting enough. But we'll always come back to fighting game stuff if there's anything specifically like a new game or maybe something happening in the community that we feel we could, talk about. We'll always come back to that too. But yeah, anyway, tell me, George, where'd you get your name from? Why is it Law? Or is there any reason?
There is absolutely no reason at all. It's a rather uninteresting background story, to be honest.
Okay. Were you just like, did you go to your first tournament and they were like, what's your tag? And you were like, oh shit. I need one of those?
One word name I can come up with, yeah.
Law. Okay. I think mine has a bit of an interesting story, I guess. So Lazarus, being a biblical character who comes back from the dead, obviously. That's kind of I think anyway, I haven't read the Bible myself, but if you remember, George, when we were playing Smash 4 a lot back in the day.
Oh yeah,
great
this
game.
Is the Batman origin story, right?
Yeah, pretty much. So, and let's just say I got very upset one day and decided, you know what, Smash 4 isn't the game for me. I'm never going to play ever again. And
probably a good decision.
Yeah, I should have stuck with it. I don't know why I came back.
The game reduces brain cells.
Yeah. And at the time I took a hiatus basically and I was like, I'm just not going to play. I'm not enjoying it. I did what I had to do. Then eventually, obviously, it's like crack. You got to go back. You can't.
You can't leave it.
You can't stay away from Smash too long. So when I came back with a whole new. I think I had a new controller, so I had a new control scheme, and obviously you have to change your tag. So I changed mine, and I thought, well, Lazarus seems appropriate here, as I was essentially coming back from the dead. And from there, I kind of stuck with it. I actually quite like it now, Well, some people refer to me as it, and it feels quite natural. I feel like it's better than getting a really awful name and having to stick with that.
Yeah, I feel my name sort of fits into the category of players who think that they're the first person ever to get those cool ones, and then I'm gonna go 0-2 in tournament losing someone called DK's Giganut, and that's gonna be my entire Smash story.
Or what was that? There was that guy that tournament, the first tournament we went to for Smash Ultimate. What was his name? And it ended up being a 12-year-old kid, and he had some really disgusting.
I remember that.
Was it?
What was
it? It was a sicko mode play, I think. But it was
Thicko mode.
I think it was Thicko mode. And then it turns out it was this 12-year-old boy, and it was just he goes to sign up, and he's too embarrassed to tell him that he signed up. Yeah. It was perfect. That's the type of player I imagine when I see those kind of names.
Oh yeah, that kid is my spirit animal. I empathize with him.
I didn't see him since, but I mean, I hope he's doing well.
Yeah, we kind of alluded to there one of the reasons we probably love Smash so much. It's a great local community to be in.
Yeah, it's
especially we have spent the last at Plymouth University, and in the last year or so of our time there, a pretty damn good community started to develop that wasn't there before. And we met a lot of people through that. It was a really good way to make friends.
Yeah, for sure. I think we are quite unlucky, I guess. Obviously, we live in England, so the fighting game community, I mean, naturally, is going to be quite a lot smaller than that in, say, the USA, where they have Europe. 10 times our population, I think. But
Europe does indeed suck.
Yeah. I mean, if you go on like Leffen's Twitter, you could probably find all about how Europe sucks. But we'll get into that. But yeah, I just think we've been quite lucky that in Plymouth there has been quite a bit of a scene, and it's gone quite big, and everyone there is amazing, and the tournaments we have, like all monthlies, I guess we'll call them.
Yeah, monthly-ish.
Very competitive, very fun, and the venues are always really good. But anyway, I think we kind of jumped the horse for a second there, so well, that's probably not the saying, but we'll go with it. So we
Smash Ultimate.
Yeah, so this is going to be our first topic of discussion for our podcast, because obviously since this is our first one and we haven't had much experience doing or creating media like this before, so we thought we'd start off with something we're both quite comfortable with, and we both feel like Smash Ultimate Smash in general actually is kind of that sort of topic that we can comfortably talk about and be confident in what we're saying and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's going to be our topic of discussion anyway. Start.
Yeah.
So George,
Smash Ultimate.
Yeah. Is it a good game? Do you like it, George?
It's definitely better than Smash 4. I can say that for sure.
How do you rate these Smash games? You can include PM and I'll put Rivals of Aether on here as well, because I think it's in class. If you play that one enough.
Starting from the start, Smash 64, underrated masterpiece.
Never played it.
Not the most competitive. Well, it is a competitive game, but it won't play like anything you've ever played before. Imagine Jigglypuff Dittos in Smash Ultimate, but if they touch you once, you die.
Yeah.
That's sort of what the game is like.
Really interesting, but obviously dying to one mistake is brutal.
Fascinating to watch.
Yes, I mean, the 64 combo contests at the SmashCon things are some of my favorite things to watch. How, for a game that's been out for so long, how people still come up with more creative ideas, I just get blown away every time.
Is artistic expression as a game. Absolutely, the combos are, but the game is a bit jank, to say the least. You can't roll, you can't tech off walls. It's got L cancelling to the extreme.
Z cancelling, isn't it?
Z cancelling, indeed. Cancel all landing lag of an area, which is interesting. It's only got 3 specials instead of 4. Yeah, 3 instead of 4. And
you don't have.
It's a bit of a strange game. Past that, we had the classic, the Smash game, in my opinion. It's, again, like every Smash game, there's nothing quite like it.
What Smash is this, sorry?
Melee.
Melee,
Yeah. It's, Melee is Melee. It's ubiquitous.
Is this, second bottom from your tier? Or, are you just coming in order of release?
Order.
Okay.
Melee, I'd say Melee is 10 out of 10, but it's just a classic.
Okay. Sorry about that. I'm currently in Spain, and George is still in England, so there's a little bit of a latency thing going on. But anyway, what were you saying about Melee, George?
Well, Melee is Melee. It's maybe the most unique of the Smash games. It's a hard thing to say. It's also a hard game to rate. All things considered, Melee is a jank game. There's a lot of things in it that do not work how you expect.
Yeah.
Things like crouch cancelling. Oh, there's another one that was a bit of a meme a while ago. Stuff I think it's called V cancelling, which let you reduce knockback by about 5%. And no one really understood why. It's full of little nooks and crannies of tech. But realistically, no human being is going to incorporate all of them into their play.
Yeah.
My God, watching Melee it's something. It's like ballet, but you're beating the shit out of each other. I kind of love it.
Yeah. ballet where you beat shit out of each other. I mean, I'd like to see that too, like just in real life. But honestly, I do like Melee. I love watching it, but playing it is just when I'm bad. It's just it feels so bad. Like okay, the problem with me, I get a bit of a disconnect with Melee because like I go and you watch it, and the thing that the pros can do is like obscenely crazy, and then it looks so exciting, and you want to do that too. And then you pick up the controller and you realize why like all the characters feel really slow and clunky, and like why nothing like comes out, like all your inputs get eaten because there's literally no input delay, so you have to like perfectly time all your inputs to be able to do stuff like, you know,
as good as
especially coming from like Ultimate, if you played a lot of that, if you try and go back to Melee, it feels so weird, like with no buffering system, no input delay, like it's just really strange. And
in that sense, it might be the worst. It's definitely the hardest to get into, whether you consider that a good or bad thing, up to you, but I err on the side that a game should be at least a bit excessive, and Melee is definitely not.
Yeah, and I think that's why like the community is like kind of almost perceived in a bad way, that it's so tightly knit, because people find it so hard to get into, because like all the tech skill, like there's no way around it. You just have to sit and train for like 50 hours, and then you'll be able to, you know, wave dash with intention, like, or properly, or, you know, or even just be able to like move in that game. Like literally, whenever I play Melee, I just play Ganon because like he kind of can just ignore most of the tech skill stuff, and like as long as you can sort of out cancel, you're kind of okay, like, you know. And it's just so weird. It's such a different game. I think that's my problem with it, is that like it's great to watch, but it's one of those it's not. It's very difficult to get into. Like I don't think I've ever tried very hard to get into Melee, to be fair, but I don't think I want to either.
I mean, I think you have to spend the time doing a lot.
We played a lot of Project Melee, or PM, I guess, Project M, and I do love Project M. Like I think just adding the I mean, I don't know if it makes us casuals if we put in the auto L cancelling and the buffering in, because L cancelling, bad mechanic, right? We don't have to argue that. It's just dumb.
No one will.
No one wants that. And okay, 3 frames of buffering just lets kind of the tech stuff come out a little bit easier without having to grind it out. Like, you know, you can wave dash and there's some leniency. You know, you can, I don't know, just like land with an aerial and then combo into another aerial, like without having to worry too hard about timing everything so perfectly. And I think that's why I found PM so much more accessible, like, because you still have all the elements from Melee, but you don't have to train for, you know, hours on end just to get the tech skill down specifically.
The most important thing for me, you can turn off tap to jump.
Tap to jump. Oh yeah.
Important thing for me.
I forget about that.
Terrible mechanic, and I don't understand how anyone plays with it. But
I don't think we do.
This is something I think I'll come onto a bit later, but one thing with Melee I think you don't see in other Smash games is, I think your average Melee player understands what makes a character good, or what makes someone good in Melee better than in other Smash games. And that's, I think, mostly due just to the size of the communities. Like Melee's a bit more small and tight-knit, whereas Smash Ultimate it hit the critical mass popularity.
Yeah, and that means that there's going to be a much higher concentration of people who are worse. And like in Ultimate specifically, I think you can get very far with just fundamentals. You don't. In fact, it's probably the most important thing, getting good fundamentals, because it doesn't matter if you know the matchup extremely well for, like, you know, 3 of the characters when there's 3 of the top tiers when there's 74 characters in the game. Like it, you know. I mean, we'll talk about that a bit later. But anyway, let's go back to Melee. I guess, well, if we're done, we can move on, I don't know, PM, I guess, chronologically. Or
Brawl.
Brawl?
Brawl deserves another look, I think.
You think?
It's a game people hate, and I know why. I've played Brawl, I can see why, but there's something to it. Brawl shares very few mechanics from Melee, but similarly has lots of nooks and crannies of There are lots of characters who have their own unique tech that's good. The problem is,
Meta Knight.
point, if you could just play Meta Knight, yeah, pretty much. A character who plays a completely different game to anyone, who is just absurdly overpowered, like no other fighting game. Absolutely meta-dominating. But also incredibly where the game is slow and clunky and doesn't really have any you put a character like him in who just sort of plays melee, and everyone else just seems, if it didn't have him and it was just this sort of slow clunky game, the game would be and sort of developed to be towards the end of its life cycle very patient for, but Meta got to break that, and Meta Knight got to do whatever the fuck though there was problems with it. But even the other top tiers, what Ice Climbers was just a 0 to death combo character. It was not Olimar, not fun at all.
Brawl Olimar, baby.
Yeah, Brawl Olimar is a fun thing. Snake's hitboxes are a character by themselves. Snake's forward tilt is a character by itself.
Oh yeah. The privileged ass character.
Ooh.
I think Brawl is like, well, it's definitely, it was like my first Smash, obviously. I think it probably was for a lot of people.
Yeah, same.
At least around our age. And I just remember having lots of fun. Like, I think it was a very complete game. I think we even have to talk about the story mode. Like, no, everyone knows how great it was.
Godlike, yeah.
I think I love the stage builder. Like, honestly, stage builder for Brawl somehow still better than the stage builder for Ultimate. I don't know, but this was how much of a casual. I played. I'd created a map that was just a box with a hole in the top, and you just beat each other up to you're about 999%, and then you try and you eventually get shot out the top. And that's kind of like the Brawl that I played. I remember playing. Because I didn't really get into Smash again until we moved in together a couple years ago. Yeah. And we played Smash 4, and I played a lot of Smash on the 3DS. Had it, and at the time I just played the 3DS a lot. But obviously, it's quite a bit different playing quite casually, just doing the Smash run things and or playing in CPU, going to. We've been together, just playing against each other, just every day for 4 hours at least.
At least.
That was a good time, kind of, but
it wasn't. Yeah.
So for me, Brawl has a kind of special place. Obviously, I think it does for a lot, but competitively, I think it's not a very competitive game with someone like Meta Knight and tripping and.
No combos.
it's hard to watch, basically.
It is.
It's not the most it's kind of nice in the sense that, again, it doesn't have the problem with melee, where you can pick up Brawl and you can probably do everything the pros can do. Obviously, you won't really understand why you're doing, or apart from maybe the Ice Climbers stuff.
Some characters, there's quite a few characters who had unique bits, quite hard to
for sure.
Stuff like Dacus, Lucas in particular had a bunch of
Dacus. Bring back Dacus, huh?
Yeah. I mean, the game, it was cool. I like it. It had fun things.
I do like it.
Lots of not very interesting characters, but also a lot of very interesting characters.
I think it's.
But then Meta Knight.
Yeah, it's a hard game to go back to though. Again, after playing Ultimate, just because it's so much slower. It just feels off.
It does. It doesn't feel like a Smash game. Even though what does feel like a Smash game is very vague.
Yeah, I think.
It's hard to explain.
We'll probably talk about that at some point. But yeah, I think Smash is it's hard to define, essentially. I think that's what makes it hard to talk about competitively, what makes a good player, hard to say.
It doesn't lack anything that you'd expect in a Smash game, but it also doesn't feel like one. It's odd.
Yeah.
And horribly unbalanced, but also really fun. I don't know. It's a cerebral game. It's a 200 IQ game for sure.
Yeah. I quite like those games. I think. I mean, I don't talk about it too much now, but I do like the balance between having kind of like high execution and just big brain plays. Like one of the reasons I actually really like a lot of the NetherRealm games is that execution-wise they're actually like surprisingly easy.
Yeah,
but then the big brain shit is like the main attraction, and so they're really accessible for that sense because then you can
Samurai Showdown.
Still, when's that coming to PC?
Absolutely blessed game. I love it.
Especially the newest one. That's a great spectator game. Just like again, you can just pick it up and you can do all the things that the pro could do. Obviously, if you're against a pro, you still just get bodied because they'd read you upside down. But
it's the importance of fundamentals. There's that word again.
Okay. Let's move on. I guess. Do we want to? Is it
rule 5? That's what
5 out of 10.
Yeah. Another classic out of 10.
Yeah. A classic masterpiece.
We have Project M.
Yeah, and I'm gonna bring in Legacy too because it's like it has like maybe my favorite Smash character in it and maybe the most overpowered Smash character in it.
Shadow. Oh yeah.
He's so good to play, but I don't know if that's because he's broken or if he's just really well designed. I don't know.
It's
somewhere in between, I think.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's talk about PM, I guess.
PM's my favorite Smash. No cap. I love PM.
I think everyone. I don't think I've ever seen anyone trash talk PM.
The old criticism of it was that PM and the recoveries are too good and that it simplifies it a bit.
They are good recoveries, but like
edge guarding's still a big aspect of the game.
Yeah, but it's still got like the melee problem where edge guarding is actually surprisingly difficult, which I guess is good. It takes more than just reading your opponent. You also have to know exactly how your character edge guards. If I'm playing Roy and then I down her off stage, I'm dead.
Roy is not a medium character in that game.
Yeah, because down there it's just got like fucking 40 frames of end lag. But
it's just
I do love it.
The best bits about melee
with the character diversity of diversity with character roster.
Way more character diversity.
Yeah, I think it's just balanced melee, which is like great.
Lots of viable. Pretty much every character is viable.
Yeah, to some extent. Obviously, some more viable than others,
but man, every character plays incredibly unique as well. And this is something you'll see in Melee too, I think, and to a lesser extent Brawl. But holy shit, everyone does their own unique thing.
Yeah, I think it's quite nice.
Venusaur in that game, like that character. If you're doing a combo with Venusaur, you can probably use every move in that combo. Charizard, my absolute character of all time is Project M Charizard.
Oh yeah.
Just because his neutral is like 8 characters in one. Oh my days, he's degenerate. But everyone just does their own thing, and the movement is slick and it's easier to do than Melee, and game offers so many stages as well, which are
I think the coolest I've ever felt playing Smash has definitely been playing PM Roy. Like just the movement, you just feel so swag, and like just because obviously with long hits done you just get these stylish ass combos, and like every character's got some sort of like way to disrespect your opponent and like spiking them, like with like Roy's like his side B obviously spikes on the third hit if you aim it correctly, and it's just like just feels so swag. Like I just never felt so good playing a Smash game when I was good at PM, or when we were good at PM, like when we played it a lot. And I mean, same with for Legacy. Like I think that's why I really like Shadows, because everything just feels so good. Like just you know, his speed, like all his moves.
Swags out.
Yeah, he does. Like I wish they translated like Shadow well into the Smash Ultimate, because I think he'd be such a good character for it. But obviously,
for sure,
rip that idea. Like even though like I'm a guy who really likes design over gameplay to some extent. Like I'll play the reason. Like I mean, in Smash Ultimate we'll get to it, but I kind of like main Ryu, and while I probably actually like the gameplay of Ken more, I just I just prefer the design of Ryu so much more that I just enjoy playing him more. I just
fair enough.
connect with the character in that way. Yeah. And same thing with Shadow. Like, well, that's the weird thing about Shadow is that I'm like the opposite with him because I actually don't really like his design, you know, or even just like, I mean, I quite like Sonic because game series. But Shadow is never a character that I've really appealed to or anything like that. But his gameplay just feels so slick that I just got attached to it and like that made him in my legacy. But I think Ian is I think it's second best for me. I think
behind Ultimate.
I think so. I think maybe if Legacy had like Ryu, I might you know, or you know, have
some mind. Yeah.
I can't remember. Maybe not. I mean, I know. I also mean obviously Pit, and I know Brawl Pit, or I guess PM Pit is pretty cool. Like, I love his up B.
But he's sick, yeah.
I think it's like the rest of his moves I just don't really like so much.
Yeah, he's fine. He's one of the less interesting characters in Project M to me.
Yeah.
See, I'm kind of the other way around. I'm all about mechanics and like all the cool shit your character can do. I love that stuff. But and that's why, you know, like Smash 4 lacked a lot of that to me. Smash 4 was a very basic game. But, man, just everything about Project M works so well. It's just, I can't even begin to explain my love for this game.
I just wish it stopped. It didn't stop it. I mean, obviously, there's not anything you can do about it. But it's such a shame. Such a shame.
Yeah. And this is why I'm quite excited for the, what's it called, Project Nyx or something? Yeah. The Ultimate.
I probably shouldn't say this, but like, alright, I'm really excited for it, but oh my god, I hate the guy.
Oh, he's a bellend, but...
Yeah, like, all of his tweets, like, I follow him and stuff, and just he has like the worst takes, and he just like hates everything that isn't melee, and it's like, okay, you can have your opinions, but like, I don't know, just you don't have to be so aggressive about it, like, oh, nice. Yeah, all of them might have its problems, but you don't have to like hate on the whole community for liking this game, like.
Yeah, let him be, dude.
But like, I am excited for it. It looks like just more Smash, honestly, like.
Definitely. I think it's got some mechanics that we haven't seen before, such as the air dash.
Air dash, yeah, that looks
that slick. Might make some characters broken.
I mean, yeah, we've all seen the Ganon clip where he just like dropped down, like air dashes down as a guy from like near the blast.
Imagine Simon and Richter with an air dash.
Actually, I don't know, because their air dodge is like awful, so like it might not.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But that might be swag. Difference. But that's another thing. Like, yeah, I think it will make a great game just because, like, again, you just feel so swag. Like, as long as mechanics are built in a way that can be used.
All I want, a bit of wave dash.
Like, wave dash? I mean,
maybe it won't work.
Almost got wave dash,
maybe.
You know? Ain't great, but it's there.
It's something I just want to see. I want to see how it works in the Ultimate engine, I guess. Like, I like the high fastball speed. I think the game, it could give the game a bit more precision in its punishes and movement, which I think it could use. Definitely could use, but
I think even with those options in the game, they would be very difficult to utilize like effectively.
Yeah, I think it could push aggression too far, you know? The aggression is already very strong.
I mean, yeah. I think it's not that far. It's just like most characters have extremely good options aggressively. Like, they just have this one safe neutral tool that they can just use. Like, it's not. I don't think aggression's like that fleshed out, I guess. Yeah, the mix-ups, I think, at least at like a sort of lower level, they're kind of
very
really
simple. Incentivizes spam, and that can put people off, I think.
I think that's why
there's always count. Like,
I think
sometimes it can feel a bit obnoxious, I feel. But anyway, we'll come back to Ultimate. So that's that.
I mean, so what? Ultimate's the next top, unless you want to talk about Rivals. I don't know. You haven't played it that much, have you?
Well.
Oh yeah, that game.
The game you forgot about.
Wow, that's just really gone from my memory, I think.
Yeah.
So, alright, let's talk about Smash 4. What a game. We talked about it a little bit at the beginning, but I think it wasn't quite as bad as maybe people. I think we got left with a sour taste in our mouths, like because of maybe a certain character, then maybe two characters I could think of.
Yeah.
But I think, at least for how we played it, I had a really good time.
Oh, for sure.
But we never took it that competitively. It was mainly just like we play a lot between us, and it was fun because like obviously that's like how I feel you feel yourself improving. I think that really helped me learn a lot, just like playing against you a lot and then realizing that I can't just run in like a monkey and press buttons.
It's
the hardest lesson to learn.
Yeah, it's a game where better player has a much less of an advantage than they should really.
Yeah.
Mostly because of rage. And the game just sort of got collectively erased from everyone's conscious. It also, I don't know, a lot of characters play quite similarly at the top tier. What really made a character good in Smash was having a move an aerial that was safe on shield. This is very common in Smash Ultimate. But like I'm watching a clip of it now, and the game is so slippery. Like characters are dashing and they will slide like half the stage during their dash grab animation.
I mean, it's because
everything moves so slow. It's like the game is covered in. It's really weird.
I know what you mean. I think it's because you had so little options out of a dash. Like, it just looks really weird. Like, because movement is really limited in that game. So everyone has to like slide around because like.
Yeah,
you can't dash really in that game.
No, I don't mind the slipperiness. I just feel it shouldn't transfer to like air momentum and stuff. It's terrible. Like ground movement, it looks fine, but everything else, no.
Yeah, and
you have no idea if a move's gonna kill or not, like because everyone moves so slowly in the air when you get hit. But it's just. Okay. And Shulk sucks in it. That's the big reason I hate the game. Shulk is terrible in Smash 4.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's that one character everyone had the huge hopes for. I mean, he hasn't changed, honestly, from all. He just feels a lot better. But he just... Everyone was just like, oh, this character must be insane, but then was like,
He's the potential, right?
He's always been the big potential. Like, oh, you just gotta learn how to play him, but no one wants to put time in. You know, and you put time in, you're like, maybe he just sucks.
He might just be bad. I mean, an old, 100% a good character. Yeah. No one plays him, which is sad. But
I think, again, we'll come on to that, but it's just a product of having such a big roster. I don't think it's...
70 characters now? It's insane. But in Smash 4, he was just sort of a sad state of affairs. There's one change they made to him in Smash I don't like is that they made his jab just the worst move in the game.
What's his? Oh, like the 1, 2, like 3, right?
He's got T-Rex arms. You can hold A and people will be able to shield.
Alright, there are some things. Okay. So,
but Smash 4 just everything was broken. It just didn't. Rage. We can talk about all day. Like,
right.
That was the definition of it.
I have a thing to talk about Rage. Like, it's not gone. It's still in Ultimate, and apparently they didn't even make it that much weaker. Like, I don't know the exact numbers. I watched a video or something, and they said it used to be. What was the max you could get?
30% or something. And then
I thought it was
10. I think.
I thought it was only 15%.
No,
I feel like that must be wrong. Yeah, I heard that in the video, and I was like, "There's no way this is right." I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, I'm googling it. Bring that up.
Yeah. All right. I quite like the idea of Rage. Don't get me wrong, but it was like just getting crit by hero every time you die. A
little bit.
Actually, no. Yeah, it's only 15%.
That's nuts.
But then in Ultimate, it's only 10%. I know one big thing, obviously, it doesn't affect moves that get hit by Smash Bros. Ultimate is 1.1 instead of 1.15.
It's not that big a difference.
No. Obviously, the biggest thing is like the set knockback doesn't get affected, so like you can't just die off the top of zero to all that kind of shit.
You
can still that still does happen in Ultimate, but like it's for different reasons.
Yeah,
not rage anymore.
The Luigi cycling.
I remember playing Roy versus your Luigi and then dying at 2% to the Cyclone. I like go to edge guard you off stage, you Cyclone up, I get hit by one hit, stage spiked and die. The worst experience of my life.
No, that was design. But if you look at Smash 4 or Smash Ultimate, you still have moves like Crumbs up B, Hike up B, most of the Sword up Bs to be honest, but they can kill you as
But like suicide, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's fine. Like
if you're on the ledge and they just take it, it's much easier to avoid.
Yeah.
I think it's a big deal. But
I think things like that is fine. Like I think if they're in, you can use them in situations where you're stock up. I mean, for the most part, like I know you die sooner now if you're the person doing the up B, but even that's not 100% all the time. Depends like where you hit from and like that.
Yeah.
But
it's definitely much less of an issue now than it ever was in Smash.
Yeah, it's weird. Like that's why I don't think I've ever specifically complained about rage in Ultimate. But it's only like 5% weaker. Maybe the 5% is like a considerable amount, and I just like. And I think another thing they did actually is that the cap you don't reach it until much later. Actually, I think that's the ultimate.
That helps a lot.
I think it was at 150, and I think in Ultimate it's like 190 or something. Yeah,
I think another big difference is there's a lot of ladder combos that are gone because Zero Suit Samus, Bayonetta,
right.
Remember Zero getting 60th or whatever at Evo because he got laddered at 10% Zero Suit.
That's my favorite shit. Honestly,
does not happen in Ultimate.
That's a feels good moment when you just die because you get hit by one move. Honestly, okay, if I had to label Smash 4 as something that isn't just rage, like the mechanic was rage. Like every Smash has had a mechanic. In LA, I guess it was wave dashing.
Yeah.
In Brawl it was tripping. In Smash 4 it was in Smash 64 it was hit stun being like 4 minutes long.
Infinite.
Smash 4 was rage, but I think if I say it wasn't rage, it'd probably be the same move comboing into itself.
Yeah.
It just throw up. When Macaulay played main Mario, and down throw up till I'm pretty sure I still wake up screaming sometimes at night, and I'm just getting up to it by Mario up to 60%, and I'm like just rocking and turning my bed like trying to SDI out. I can't get out. And I'm just like trying to do that. I'm glad that's not in the.
Yeah. No, me too. That was horrible. The same move combo itself for like 40% was always fun. Fox up tilt on only one.
Ooh.
That was. Ooh.
I mean, maybe a bit biased, but I do miss old Ryu up tilt that you couldn't really get out of if you just read where you were DIing, and it was the most like relaxing move to use because you just time it, you just up tilt one. It's like kind of like wobbling in Melee, you could do it like with your eyes closed. I kind of need to see where they're DIing, but like. You could like do it with one hand. You just got to walk forward and like up tilt, and like really rhythmic, in a rhythm.
Oh yeah.
And it was just relaxed, and then you just jump through them. It's just like
For a character that was actually quite hard to play, he had some pretty 2 IQ moves as well.
Up tilt. Oh my god, the size of up tilt. I can't even talk about that.
Ooh, hitboxes was another thing. Big hitboxes was quite a Smash 4 thing.
Let's just not get into Bayonetta up. Okay, we could probably talk a lot about Bayonetta. I'm just glad that none of us played it who we played Smash 4 with, that we never had to deal with.
By the end of Smash 4, it got to the point where I found the top tier just unbelievably boring. Like, all of them were just not interesting.
Obviously, I kind of played a lot of Cloud at one point, but it was just like... It just felt wrong.
Cloud was not... was designed so dogs could play Smash Bros. And compete in a tournament. He was there is a point where you make a character. It's okay to have a character who is easy. That's not a problem.
Yeah.
It's also fine to have a character who's really strong. But once you combine the two to a point where it just feels bad that you have to put in so much more than your opponent to get the same results, and they can literally just be like this 2 IQ baby brain. It's not designed.
It's not.
That shit. It's not fun to get by. It's not fun to play again.
Yeah, I think this is like where the term getting carried by a character comes in. I think that was the big thing about Bayonetta and Cloud is like they just carried a lot of players.
Yeah.
Because they had to change the whole rankings.
Yeah. Everyone is somewhat carried by a character. That's just how characters work. But
whether they just play well to your style or they're just have really good options or whatever it may be, it's not. I don't think anyone carries a character. I think
the character.
Leo isn't just picking up the worst character in the game and then winning majors with him. He's playing Joker because he can play Joker really well, and the way that he plays the game complements Joker's gameplay. It's like a symbiotic relationship, if you will.
Pretty much.
Everyone has one of those with their character. That's why no one can just pick up any character. I mean, or maybe you can, or there are. But I think we'll talk about this maybe a bit later. But I think I'll just quickly touch on it, saying that I think there are different ways of playing at least specific characters. I think something you told me was I think I asked you at one point, how can you play so many characters to quite a high level? And you're like, oh, I just sort of play them how the pros played them.
Yeah.
Whereas for me, I don't really look into how various pros play them in general, and I just sort of pick them up. And that's why I can only ever play 1 or 2 characters at a time, just because I'll pick it up, I'll play them, and I'll play them in sort of my own way, in a way that works for me, rather than trying to mimic. I think both styles kind of work, because obviously you got being a top player, but obviously I think it becomes your learning curve becomes trying to figure out why they did this in a certain situation, and then why you would do the same. And then my learning curve would be, instead of learning how to intentionally do something, because obviously everything I'm doing should be intentional if I'm playing the character right. It's just knowing what I need to do rather than knowing why.
It's end goal versus the process, right?
Yeah.
I want to know the process.
Yeah, you kind of need to figure out the process.
To ledge trapping, to edge guarding, or kill, whatever. Whereas for you, it's I know I need to kill them. What cool things can my character do to kill them? Which, again, both completely viable styles.
Yeah, I think that's that's why, again, you can play a lot of characters, I can't. If we played random, I'd probably go it would probably be first, if we go first to 10, I'd maybe go 9-1 to you, because I just can't play
versus you.
Even though I have decent fundamentals, I could probably maybe play I could play every character. So obviously I know how to play Smash, but
of course
it's I literally don't know what to do with the character, which is whereas you already know. You don't even have to play them very often, but you know what we have to do.
Yeah.
Whereas
I find Smash quite intuitive. I think it's designed
it's kind of nice
in the sense that it's very intuitive game to play, and that sort of goes in the face of other fighting games, which I find, as much as I love them, can be rather obtuse. Guilty Gear does not make it easy to play Guilty Gear.
It has the best tutorial out of any fighting game ever, but it doesn't make it easy. It just tells you what you need to do. But doing them is just completely different.
Oh yeah. Whereas for me, Smash, the movement makes sense. You have so much freedom over where your character goes. You have so much freedom over what situations to use moves. That I find
that is where the intuitiveness comes from, but it's also where the complexity comes in. Compared to a lot of fighting games, I think that's what a lot of people overlook when it comes to Smash. Is they think it's quite simple, but in regular fighting game, it's so much different. The amount of options you have at any one time in Smash is 10 times that of regular fighting game. But compared to other fighting games where sort of react to what your opponent's doing quite often, it in Smash that becomes so much harder because you don't know what they could do because there's no one right answer. Like, you know, if you see someone jumping in, you know, I don't know, I'm thinking of a fighting game example. Basically, you know what their jump in is going to be if they're going to go for it. All you have to guess is, are they going to go for that jump in, or are they trying to like neutral jump in and if like grab or something? Whereas in Smash, like they could throw any of their moves. They can try like landing cross up air, or they can like land right in front of your shield grab. They can like land, you know, back air. Like they can pretty much do so many things.
In fighting games in general, those sort of options open up in more specific situations, right?
Yeah.
Whereas in Smash, it's more open at most times. Now, obviously, some options better than others, but it's still, it's different.
Yeah, you can guess, like, you know, if a fox is jumping at me, or if a wolf's jumping at me, and I'm shielding, he's going to land with net. Like, I don't really have to guess too hard, but, you know, there are other, you could do other stuff, like, but that's the best option 9 times out of 10, right? So I don't have to, I mean, again, like, there's that parallel in other fighting games where there is that best option. But I think in Smash, that like it's never too clear for a lot of characters what that option is. Like, especially with how, I mean, the big thing in Smash, you can like just move your momentum in the air. You can't do that in other fighting game to this extent. Like, I can just drift back, you know, forward air or something. I can like forward air move into you, but like, there's with directional influence, there's just so much more.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah. Having lots of different lots of control over air movement, I think, is a big part of that, especially.
I mean, that's kind of like the appeal to the platform fighter, right? Is like the freedom of movement.
Yeah, like a good example, something like oh wait, I think you've cut out.
Nah, I'm sorry, no.
Oh shit, yeah. So something like what is it? Fucking. I was trying to think of a fighting game that's got similar movement to Ultimate or Smash Bros. There's a game called Arcane Hearts. Yeah.
I've only heard of it. I don't think it was gameplay or anything, so I don't know.
It's an okay game. It's not one of my favourite fighting games, but it's got an air homing dash system where you can sort of air homing dash.
Yeah.
And it takes you straight into your opponent's face.
So it's like
and at least
the DBZ one, or is it? Is it like the Dragon Ball?
It's a bit, yeah. It's actually quite similar now that I think about it. But at least there's some very dynamic neutral style. It's similar to Dragon Ball FighterZ, another game that has that thing.
Yeah.
And Dragon Ball FighterZ.
I think Dragon Ball FighterZ is actually
weird.
Quite a good parallel to Smash Bros.
It's
I
definitely
think
the middle ground, right?
Yeah, because I think Smash Bros. Neutral would probably be translated best to like DBZ neutral, with an option like a super dash. Is like, obviously the joke being when DBZ first came out is like there is no neutral. The neutral is super dash, right? Is like you don't have to play footsies, you can just go in. Like, and obviously as people got better at the game, funny enough, the super dash is actually a terrible option. You know, and same with Smash. Like, you know, everyone thought, oh, aerials are so safe in Shield. Like, why don't I just jump, land in front of you with an aerial, and then punish you for trying to like grab me out of Shield? Because that's what everyone did in Smash 4, right? But then in Smash Ultimate, everyone thought like, oh, you just mindlessly just drift in with aerials. You just press buttons. Yeah. But people have gotten so much better now that it's about what you do after the aerials. And then like, shit, if I jump in with an aerial, I know you're going to jab afterwards. The jab is the punishable part, so I just have to hold Shield. Like, I don't have to try and punish your aerial. Sure. That's the point. People
it's
don't
an extra level compared to Smash 4, really. And it bothers me a little bit because I really value the spacing on, as given that I got into competitive with Smash 4.
Yeah.
The being able to like space an area on Shield to make it safe is now less important than it was in Smash 4, which kind of annoys me. But I've got way more used to it. And it's why I play Shulk, because a big part of his game plan is spacing aerials and sometimes just mashing on the A button. But it's still, a skill that is
same with Ryu.
Valued, right?
Yeah, I think spacing, like if you look at movement. Okay, you know what? This is a good time. Let's just get into talking about Ultimate. I think we went a bit of a tangent, talking about the fighting games for a second, but like,
Smash 4 is shit.
It's shit.
I still love it because I
but...
played it, and I can't. Smash 4 is shit, yeah.
Yeah.
But I still love it a bit.
Yeah.
Because I sort of started playing Smash with it.
Yeah, I think it's got a special place in that sense. Like, kind of same place as Brawl, like, competitively, it could be better. I mean, it probably didn't help that I made both Ganon and Roy in that game, and didn't really enjoy playing any other character. But my experience playing the game might have been worsened by that. But, I mean, I do miss them. I miss the extended dash dancing. It's still in Ultimate, but it has a completely different purpose.
Yeah.
It's just half your dash dance. This is kind of why I wish movement was slightly more important. I mean, I think it is actually, but yeah, I think, like I said, we're going to talk about Ultimate in a minute anyway.
Yeah.
But I do think it's Smash 4 isn't good, but it's at least within the Smash games. I think it was. I'm glad I played it because coming into Ultimate, obviously the fundamentals translate to some extent.
Yeah.
And it helped me enjoy Ultimate a lot.
Definitely.
I think if I was just playing PM and only played PM and then came across the Ultimate, might not have enjoyed it quite as much.
Yeah. Smash 4, one thing I do miss is Villager a little bit.
Oh
Smash
yeah, Villager ain't the same. You just can't. You just can't like
with it.
Don't people out like you used to.
Like the fact Smash Ultimate has lots of short characters who are very good, and having a small hitbox in Smash Ultimate is a very, very
privilege.
Good thing, because a lot of characters best out shield option or fastest one, the buffered short hop aerial, usually neutral air, and if you're small, there's a lot of characters who would just go right under it, and this is a problem for a lot of characters I really like, especially Villager, and especially in neutral, Villager a lot of characters can just dash under forward and back air. Villager can do it.
Yeah. Like playing against Villager was tough in Smash 4. Like, I had to actually care about your aerials, and I had to, like, shield dash my way in, essentially. And I had to close off the stage. I had to play with a brain against Villager. And then, in Ultimate, I don't have to. I just throw my super safe aerials. I don't even. I can whiff them. It doesn't matter. I can just chop off all your fucking aerials, like all your little stones that you out at me, and I just land, and I don't get punished because I'm landing with. I mean, you land with aerials in Smash Ultimate. That's what you do. Like half the time they've got less landing lag than your normal landing lag. Like I don't know. So
fighting Joker with Villager in Ultimate makes my because his dash, it just hurts my.
Oh, okay.
His dash just naturally low profiles my forward and back air at most heights. It is very hard to hit him running.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't think he's quite as bad as I've made out, but he's not.
Yeah, he's not
a lot
quite
more
Smash 4
frustrating to play.
Okay, let's get into Ultimate now.
Yeah.
I think
Ultimate, I have a love-hate relationship. Because logically, it's my favorite Smash game, but
I think it is mine for sure. As again, in terms of being a complete game, like obviously PM, probably mechanically is probably the best I've ever felt playing a Smash game. But in terms of playing a game, Ultimate's up there.
Definitely.
Just the most fun I've had, and competitively, I mean, probably the most success I've had. And it's easy to just grind out and play loads of games and not get bored. It's not
pretty much.
Whereas with PM, it's a lot harder. I felt to just play non-stop. There was just so much more. Like, I don't want to say Smash almost brainless, but there was just so much more to do and think about.
It's more brainless than
I think
Project M, but it's not necessarily.
Yeah, it's like I just had to press more buttons in PM, and I had to constantly pressing buttons. Like it wasn't, in Smash Ultimate, I can stand still, and it'd probably be my best option.
Pretty much.
Ultimate.
It should be my favorite Smash game. I still prefer Project M, but it's a game I find very enjoyable, but also very frustrating. It can sometimes feel like the movement and some of the other stuff in the game, it's a bit slippery. Not slippery, it could be a bit imprecise.
Yeah.
I feel like things will whiff when they don't look like they should whiff
I think
more often than others.
you have to overestimate with movement bomb, and I think that's where a lot of people go wrong. Like, if you watch, like, pro player movement, you know, pros, like, use shield maybe 5% of the game. I mean, it depends on a character-to-character basis. Shield is just a bad option, but obviously it's still a necessary one. And it depends on the character, obviously. But, like, if you watch, like, Leo versus, like, any top player, like, he just schmooves on him. Like, he doesn't shield, he just fucking schmooves. The guy's all over the place, and, like, obviously Joker is quite a lot good, easy character to schmoove with, because his movement is, like, nuts. But, like, just in general, like, having good movement in that game is criminally underrated, because, like, again, shield is just bad. Like, if you can just get out of the way of it, just do it. Like, even if it doesn't put you in an immediately advantageous position, move out of the way to move. Don't shield it. Like, you know, you have so many more options if you don't shield the move and just backstep away from the move, even if you don't go for an immediate whiff punish. Just always like a better option to do it. Like, depends, obviously. If I'm Ryu, the characters are like, if they're at like 100% and they're trying to land on the front of my shield with an aerial, I'm probably just gonna be out of shield and kill them. Like, that's what I'm looking for. But like, for a lot of other characters, like, you just don't want to be shielding. You just want to, like, just move.
Pretty much. Another big point of that is a lot of aerials are very safe on shield.
Yeah.
For instance, having a look at frame data now, Peach's neutral air is 2 on shield, which in this game basically
+1, isn't
translates
it?
to being
at least. Well, it's like, I think the fastest out of shield option is like, what, frame 3, so it's like technically +4.
It's minus, I think, it kind of works like that. It's out of shield options in Ultimate are very strange because they all have different timings.
Yeah, true.
So, like, because like up Bs and up smashes out of shield will not
shield drop.
Jump. Yeah, they don't do the shield drop and they won't have.
So they immediately just have to start, doesn't it?
Yeah. So if you've got a very fast one of those, holy shit, that's useful. But no one's is that fast. No. And then up B's out of shield. The quicker the better, right? So like that's why Game & Watch is so good.
I mean, I think it's another reason why that move is so good, because it's just disgustingly fat. And like, if you up B preemptively, you're not even in a disadvantageous position. Like, even if the guy baits it out and he doesn't get hit by the up B, now you're just above him. You got the key to contend with. You got the key. Like, and
this is,
or you can just float around like Peach, go to ledge if he really needs to. But like, I don't think. Obviously, you don't want to be below someone, above someone. But like, if you're Game & Watch, you don't feel too bad about it either. You're landing areas.
It comes on to my other big complaint about Ultimate. Fuck the buffer. I don't really care about the buffer anymore. People have talked about it to death. I don't think it's that bad.
Oh, okay. But no, I don't.
I think landing in Ultimate is a bit brainless. I think neutral air dodge is far too good.
Yeah, fast fall neutral air dodge. It's
almost
so hard to punish.
It's something you have to call out so hard compared to every other option to be able to do stuff about. And some characters can sort of do it for free, I guess. Like someone like Link or Fox or any other fast faller can just sort of. Actually, Fox is probably the best example because you can just double jump
Joker,
up.
Joker's good at it.
Yeah, Joker's insane.
The best fast falls.
But I think that could be fixed very easily. That's just put it in the code. If you air dodge, you land during your air dodge, you get 15 frames of end lag or something. 10 frames of end lag.
Yeah, I think
that's enough. It doesn't need to be a lot, just enough that you can land and hit them with. Because then the aggression in this game can pay off a bit more. Characters who have vertical, still more vertical combos can get more of a payoff than other characters. I think
there are some options that are better and some less in the game. I think let's get a bit more focused. So like, what do you like about Smash Bros? That it's like, I guess your second favorite.
Pretty much everything else. I think the character variety is. There's a lot of top tiers who it can be kind of boring. Like, I think Wolf and Lucina and Peach are all kind of dull. But
I think
other than them,
their representation isn't huge. Like, it's not like you're gonna see 4 Lucinas in top 8. Like,
they've really fallen off.
Yeah, I think.
Character variety is great. I think the combos feel pretty damn good. I think advantage and edge guarding is solid. I think edge guarding is nailed perfectly in this game.
Yeah, I think it's hit the perfect middle ground between between Melee and Smash 4. Like, I think in Melee you basically like everyone can do it, but it's like hard. Yeah. Like, not necessarily hard in the sense of like it's risky. That's what it is. Yeah. But in Smash 4 it's really difficult because everyone's can air dodge like every 16 frames or whatever it is. Like, everyone can like be invincible half the time.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
If you have your double jump off stage, you're probably getting back. Like,
yes,
it's not.
Whereas in Ultimate, like, if they've got that jump, you just have to you just have to call it out, and like, it's not. I mean, it's on a character basis, and that's what I really like. I think it's an advantage to be really good at edge guarding game that is not really present in like other Smash games quite as much. Like in Smash 4, it doesn't matter if you've got like a pit neutral air or like a Palutena neutral air that like takes up so much space and that lasts for so long, because it's so much easier just to recover. Like, and in Melee, like, it's so hard to recover. Everyone can edge guard, like, to some degree. Like, obviously not some better than others, but like, whereas in Ultimate, like, not everyone good at Wolf can't edge guard. Like, he ain't going out there, he's just gonna ledge trap you. Like, and that's what I really like, is that the characters play so very differently. Like, they prefer different situations a lot more than they would, like, obviously in Smash 4 it was all about ledge trapping. With Smash Ultimate, you can do either. Like, like Wolf, he can't edge guard, so he like 9 times out of 10 he's better just to stay on. But there are some scenarios where you're gonna go out there, like, it's completely worth for you. Like, so maybe you're stock up, maybe you can just commit all in to like a juicy down air, or just nair into like jump nair or something, and then like gimp them. There's always situations where it's going to be completely viable for you to do something, even if your character's bad at it, like edge guarding. That's something I really like. I think all the characters are quite designed quite well. With the engine in mind. We can talk about one that maybe isn't designed so well. I think I really like Ultimate. Obviously, it's like my favorite one. I think I really love character diversity. I think they nailed like all the characters, like design wise, like really well. All the characters feel really good to play. There's no ones that explicitly feel bad. Like, Heavy's a kind of, Bowser's amazing, but all the Heavies are like actually kind of good. Like, they feel good, they're strong, and like, because they're not completely neutered by being too slow and unsafe. They all have like excellent options for like close distance, and like, much
to the behest of a lot of people.
Not the most. I think Heavies are like, they're just like something you gotta learn. Like, I think that's with such a wide roster. I think I alluded to this earlier, but the matchups are always it's gonna happen. Like, you're gonna fight someone you don't know in the matchup, and you're gonna lose. Like, I think that's the hard part.
It's annoying.
It's not enough to have good fundamentals at the top level. Sometimes you got to know the matchup too, and sometimes it can be as simple as just like knowing what to look out for, like knowing the Bowser mix-up of like jump in, neutral B, side B, whatever, like neutral air, back air, like what you can do again, basically like what your character can do about it. And I think that's why people get mad, is that they just try to do their usual game plan, and then they realize they can't, and that's
they get upset.
But I think that's present across all games. I was watching a video today actually about basically finding characters that like summon characters, and how everyone hates them because they just force you to play a way that's not just you rush them, rush down, beat them up, like. And I think Heavy's tough.
This is something Smash characters are notoriously bad for, is they're very, very stubborn. I don't think Smash characters like changing up Smash players like changing up their play style a lot. Like, ask your average Smash player. I think generally your average Smash player is worse than your average fighting game
for sure,
player, because it's just so many more of them.
And the accessibility that comes with it will also come with like lower tier players. Like,
Yeah, definitely.
But one of the most important.
No one will change up their playstyle versus other characters when they really, really should.
I think that's the difference between being a bad player and a good player.
Absolutely.
Which I think I'm going to talk to, but I think I want to talk about Smash a little bit more. Smash Ultimate.
Definitely.
I think for me, like obviously, I main Ryu and Pip, and for me, like Ryu's like the perfect character. Like this is why I really like Ultimate, and so I can play characters that aren't necessarily the best, but still perform just as well because like the engine allows me to play in like a way that I can just win. Like it doesn't matter like, what the matchup is or whatever it is. Like if I play intelligently, you know, I always have a chance to win. I feel like there's no 10-0 matchup like that. Like even
Pikachu Ganon's pretty bad, but for the most part, yeah.
Well, heavies are like always being polarizing.
The game's very well balanced.
Yeah. I think no one can argue that. I mean, you can argue some characters are like much stronger than others, sure.
Some could do with a toe.
None of them can't not win. Like there's not like there's not like a Ganon from I don't know if Ganon's a win. But like there's no
like Brawl Ganon. Brawl Ganon is the worst character in the system.
Just can't.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do. Yeah, like Brawl's the only
everyone has like really powerful
unwinnable mythic. Yeah.
And like that's why I think it's important to know the matchup because like playing Pit, like everyone always says how like his down B is like ridiculous. Like, oh my god, you just get out combos for free. You know, it's a reflector. You can't be edge guarded. And like whenever I'm playing against someone like a set, they'll half the time I'll like down B out of like 3 of their combos. And they'll be like, wow, that's broken. And I'll be like, that's Pit's worst move.
It's like, not good, yeah,
it's not a great move, but it has a use. And if you play around it correctly, it's a bad move. But it's just the people don't know. And then, you know, you can't expect them to know every matchup. But it's like that. You got to know, everyone has that shit that's just like, wow, that's good.
People are very quick to call a character.
And that's what I like about it. It's like every character has something that's like, wow, that's, wow. Apart from...
Yeah, that's a cool thing, yeah.
I mean, even Piranha Plant, like, who was notoriously known for being bad.
Lots of cool shit.
But Piranha Plant, everyone's like, oh shit, it's cool now. Like, look at that edge guarding. Like, even though I actually think some of that ledge trapping that I was watching from who played. Who was it that played Brood? That was it. I felt like it was kind of fake. It's not fake. But like, for example, when he puts the cloud down, and just it just does damage. Just take the damage.
Yeah.
Just don't like
pretty much.
think
it's it's a lot of damage, but oh well, basically.
Well, yeah. I mean, don't get off stage, right? Just don't get hit.
Just don't get hit, my man. Yeah.
It's proper. How you get hit?
It's not as real as he was making it look.
But again, that comes in. That's what I quite like about it. Yeah. It doesn't mean that the character's specifically like terrible because like once you learn about it, you can counter it. Because every character's got that stuff. Like once you know how to beat them, you beat them, right?
Yeah.
But you just go that extra level, right? That's where you're becoming a better player. It's like that's what I mean by the symbiotic relationship between having your character and your player. Like, yes, okay, Brood, the way ledge trap might not be 100% real, and when people start learning how to get up against it or how to beat it, he just comes up with a different one, and you don't know how to beat that, and then there's the adaptation, and you know, the faster you adapt, the better player you are, really.
Yeah, definitely. That's probably the biggest divider, right? I don't think many people are very good.
I mean, people mean for Game 4 Leo because, like, Game
4 Leo.
Game 4 Leo because he's like, just gonna reverse sweep now, I guess, because I just completely downloaded you onto my mainframe.
Yeah, download complete.
Yeah, and that's why I like watching top players because, like, while at like our level, I think adaptations happen maybe at the best of times. Mid-set, at the top of play, mid-set, at the worst, just between tournaments. Like, for example, in our locals, there's a player called J Charles, and he mains Ness, and he's very good at the game. And I was playing against him a few times, and he just bodies me every time. And then there was one tournament we just sat and played friendlies for like an hour, and by the end of the friendlies, I was taking games off him and stuff. And we met in bracket, and I think I still lost 2-0, but like both games were like last hit, last stock, and it was like I could feel
nice.
like I started to adapt to it.
Yeah, the improvements there. It's tangible.
But obviously, the best players or the better players can make that adaptation mid-set, and then to go even further beyond that, there are characters of players who can make that adaptation mid-game, which is what you see at the top level. Like, if you watch like Leo vs Samsora, the reason why like came to game 5, like both times, they did go to game 5 both times. Yeah. So like, it's because they just constantly adapt to each other in the game. It's just like learning at that level. It just 600 IQ basically. Which one we can talk about actually? Should we talk about Shine at all? Let's talk about Shine, I guess.
Is that the most recent one?
I believe, yeah. Most recent major.
I think.
I mean, what happened like last weekend, so it must be.
I believe so. Yeah.
Cool.
Man. What tournament? That was where Samsora did really well, right?
Yeah, well, Samsora won it, so...
My man. Absolutely will be I think he'll be the best player in the world by this time next.
You think? I actually really like Samsora. I think... Weird, normally his personality I don't like in a community, because I think... Because most of the time it's quite fake. Well, it's not fake, but it's more like a... It's just like a shield to stop himself from getting like any criticism or like basically
I think
from not
just
saying anything that's wrong. But actually, I think Samsora is like he's just like that. He's just really nice, really kind, and just like
he's a bit kind goofy.
He's goofy, yeah, right. Like, he's goofy.
It's just
normally
he's
like
a lovely dude.
Like
I really like him. Yeah.
I do like him, and I'm glad he won. Honestly, he's big. Yeah, it's just funny, and like obviously he's amazing at the game. So, and he plays Peach, and obviously people can argue how good that character is, but she ain't easy. I mean, you can tell me that. You were playing Peach for a while.
Yeah, fucking Peach, dude. He's making a good case for second best in the world at the moment.
He is in the PGR rankings.
Yeah. He's 4th at the moment.
Oh, really?
Yeah, behind Tweak and Mars. Tweak's had a rough performance in the last one.
He seems inconsistent. Like, he was like the best at the start, at least. I think part of it might come down to like trying to figure out the best character for him. Although Tweak kind of just plays everyone, so which is why I thought Pokemon Trainer is the best character for him, because it lets him play multiple characters in the same game. I was like, it was about time.
Yeah. It's a difficult one.
Mars is...
Sorry, my dad just walked in.
No problem.
I think... We're recording.
Okay, I can edit out if you need. I'll probably like...
No. I think he's expressed a little bit of discontent, and I know he likes it more now, I think, than he did at the
discontent
start.
With what, Ultima? Oh, right.
Yeah, Tweet wasn't a huge fan to start with, but I think because he's still having a bit of a character problem. He's come back between Mario and Pokemon. He's dropped Wolf a bit off now, but
I think is it. We say everyone's got Pocket Wolf, or is that?
Yeah, a little bit. He's not as good as other Pocket characters, but man.
Yeah.
But I do think Tweak should just stick to Pokemon Trainer Mario.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I want him to do well. I like watching Pokemon Trainer. I think Pokemon Trainer is really fun.
Yeah, I think Pokemon Trainer is one of the cooler characters. I think, especially now that all 3 of the ones are like need to be used optimally for the characters to actually be top tier.
For sure.
Like when it was just Ivysaur, I was like, this character is lame. It's out of my bracket. Like I don't know. It was. But now it's like actually kind of cool.
With Squirtle. I think Squirtle.
I mean, it's small. Like I think Squirtle is probably the best now.
Yeah.
People get the combos the combos is like sick, and it's just like, it's small. I mean, small characters is a pain in the dick. But he does die at like 20.
Fighting him with Villager is suffering. I cannot hit that character. It's impossible. It's actually impossible.
But who are you meaning now anyway? You gonna go?
I don't fucking know.
Still not sure.
Pretty much Shulk. 90.
You're gonna be at the same tournament that Brood got second. Trying to plan.
Kome did well.
Yeah, got top 8, like 7.
Kome is who
everyone was like, oh no, a Shulk got top 8, the reckoning is upon us.
It begins.
The Shulk.
Yeah. And trust, I know MK Leo has been teasing that he's going to start playing Shulk.
Oh really?
Please do.
Okay, we'll talk about MK Leo now, actually. Like, I honestly I did not like him in Smash 4, even though he was like the second best player, or if not the best, towards the end, definitely.
I think that's more because
he was lane player.
Like Smash
lane.
4. Yeah.
Okay. He just played Marth, one of my least favorite characters. And then, honestly, at the start of Ultimate, he just played Lucina. And I was like, this guy.
Yeah. But Joker.
Since Ultimate, like, he's actually shown a lot more personality.
Yeah.
Like, and obviously picks up Joker, and he fucking swags on people. Like, you know,
he does.
And he's so good to watch. And like, honestly, when I first started watching him properly, it was like when I stopped like hating him as much. Was when I think it was the Smash Ultimate Summit, and he busted out Greninja, and I was like, wait, MK Leo playing a cool character, and then he fucking swagged on. I can't remember who it was. It was against an Ike, but I can't remember who played it. And I was like, wow. Like, this guy can actually play cool characters, like just big brain player. He just played technical characters and just like destroy people as well. Yeah. And I was like, wow, that's so cool. And then he picks up Joker, and Joker came out, and like obviously everyone's like, oh, maybe Joker's insane, but like, where are the other Jokers? Like, show me.
Insane. Yep.
Like, maybe I think Boy plays it, right?
But man, he's one of the stronger like brands in Ultimate as a player.
Yeah, like I think
the following is getting big now. He's
got personality, like, you know.
He's, again, bit dippy, bit sweet. He's very sweet person. Like,
he has like kind of the problem I do have, that he's quite like, or at least he was like, he didn't really have much of a personality. He just kind of like just tried to be a good face and not say anything bad, not say anything meaningful. Like, just try and you know, be that guy who, I'm the best player in the world. I just got to thank everyone for the support. And he's never said like, I just fucked with that. I just like destroyed this kid. Like, you know.
It's like a slightly less awkward musical.
Yeah.
The way and I think that's a good thing. It's a good sort of character you want to represent.
Yeah, I think he's okay now. I think, oh my god, did you see the tweet when he said like, I won Evo, time to find myself a Korean girlfriend? Did you see that tweet, right? Did you see?
Up there and,
I saw someone quote it and be like, I can't believe this guy, like, and he was like, I won Evo, where's my Korean girlfriend at? And that was because he said his top 3 goals was like, become best player in Ultimate, win Evo, get a Korean girlfriend. And that was just like his goal. So that's fair enough, you know. But we all have our tastes, right? And then like people just freak out when he like after he won Evo. And I was like, look, it's a joke. I was like, I had to restrain myself from not responding to this like incel. But like they were like, how can he objectify women like that? And I'm like, it's literally a joke, because like if you
think
like,
this was overblown, right? I don't think there's that many people, but like
obviously
even looking at his tweets now, like the pinned tweet he's got from Evo 2019 has like 7,000 likes. Yeah. And that's fucking nuts. Yeah, like this is the biggest Smash it's ever been by far, and
I think Smash
only a good thing. Yeah.
Who needs Nintendo support?
The only problem with a bigger community is it invites more drama.
I think that's fine. I
find it annoying, but like.
Alright, speaking of drama, let's just move on, I guess. We'll talk about Shine. I think we'll finish up with Shine. I think Samsora definitely deserved to win that set with MK Leo. If you want to go and watch it, one of the best,
Smash sets
ever. Like, just the level of play and the adaptation, and like, just if you need anything to watch Game 3, the first set. That's all you need to watch. Like the last stock. Did
the Switch? Yeah.
I mean, do you know that game where it's last stock, last hit? Well, not even last hit. Like they're both at around like, I think Samsora was ahead, but they were both at like 80-ish%.
Yeah.
And Samsora just downbeats, instantly throws. It's a bomb on, it just hits. It just hits him and kills him, and then I mean, he still Leo still got that bracket reset. but
Yeah.
that was like a great moment. Basically, it was because it was just so fast that you didn't even see it. They were just like I think Theo went for a side B and Samsora goes for a down B. Instantly throws a bomb. I don't even think he reacted to it. He just throws it, just gets the kill, gets the game, and it's like, ooh, maybe luck's on things there. And then the next game, the second turn if he pulls, Samsora pulls another bomb on, but he's a pro and throws it off the stage. I don't even know if he was intending to do that, but he just threw it immediately. And
I like that.
Just, anyway, yeah, I think Shine was really good. I think apparently as an event, it was run pretty poorly. Obviously, there was a lot of drama with like lethal mosquitoes around and stuff.
Oh,
but
shit,
I haven't heard that anyone's gotten ill, so I mean, outside of the usual Smash tournament stuff, or just tournaments in general. But yeah, I don't know. I think, hard to say, I've never been to a fighting game tournament in America. So hopefully that will change, next summer we go to EVO, 2020 even.
Oh, hell
Help us get there, it won't be too expensive, I hope. That'd be sick, actually. Oh, I want to go so bad. Anyway.
Dude, looks so good.
Shine was good, watch the grand finals, good. Alright, anyway, drama in Smash community. So,
Hero!
Yeah, let's talk about that. I think we can talk about Leffen a little bit. It's kind of what I wanted to go on to. Since he seems to be like the cornerstone of the drama in Smash Ultimate. And I think
as always, yeah.
Alright, so the best way to describe Leffen for people who don't know, or people who are curious, I mean, I'm sure everyone knows who is part of the Smash community. If you're not, he's like, so he's a very good player.
Oh, for sure.
And he likes to speak his mind, but occasionally he just has the worst takes. And some of them, sometimes he has really good takes. But it's not like, and I guess this could be seen as a positive and a negative, but unlike other players who, when maybe argued against and proven wrong to some extent, back down from their original argument, maybe, or concede themselves, Leffen just doubles the fuck down and will just ban your ass. He will just block you. He's just like, no. And I think that's where people will get a lot of hate from him, that he just doubles down and he doesn't like people who disagree with him, at least not informally. Like, if you discuss with him, he's fine, but if you just post "Ho's mad" on his tweet about Hero, he's gonna block you. Like,
yeah.
And I like Leffen. I disagree with him like 90% of the time.
Why each with the Ho's mad people though? What's the point? What are you gonna get that?
Ho's mad times 24, dude. I don't know. Actually, I don't get it. I don't get the meme. I mean, other than just Ho's mad, but like,
Ho's mad, dude.
Why is Hero there? All right, but Leffen, yeah. I think. What do you think? What do you think about Leffen? Like, obviously, I think you follow the Smash scene a bit. I thought you said he's a crook. I'm like,
he's a crook, Captain Hook. No, he's a provocateur. I think it's part of his brand, and he does it on. But
yeah,
times when I think he's actually, and I don't like to admit
he's actually what? Sorry,
he's right sometimes.
Yeah, I think, for example, recently he tweeted about the Smash Ultimate players, or at least some of them, just don't have a very good work ethic, at least the ones he's like communicated with. And I think, especially compared to that of the Melee scene, which is a lot more hardcore, he sees that as like quite sad that people don't.
It is.
And to some extent, I can see where he's coming from.
But also, I can understand why. I think there's not much money in Smash. The incentive to do well is purely out of pride, and these people play a fuck ton anyway. But Melee is unique in that aspect where, and I mean no offense by this, but if you're going to play Melee as a full-time career, you have to have some sort of autism.
What? What take?
There's no money in it. Nintendo doesn't support it.
True.
The only thing that keeps Melee going is sheer community solace. Sheer.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like the beauty of it, but like also, yeah, it sucks to suck.
Yeah.
I mean, you obviously get sponsorships and stuff, so like
you can
make it, but it's not sustainable.
Not lucrative. Yeah.
No. At least I mean, I don't know, but I imagine it's not. Yeah. I mean, I can't mention the prize money. It's not amazing unless you're like a top 3 player. Which, are you?
Not great. Even then, it's not great. But I feel Ultimate, even though it doesn't get that much support from it, does get a bit more, and the price pools are a bit high.
Yeah, I mean, it helps that there's a lot more entrants to pay like venue fees and entrants with the pot, I imagine.
More people play.
Again, it's
Smash. Ultimate is more casual, I guess, than Meta.
Oh,
play it in a spare time. Other than even the top players, it's not always.
Yeah, I mean, like I think
career.
what Samsora said. I mean, Leffen does. I think he has quite a huge respect for Samsora, especially now that he won Shine. I think they just either played together a lot or something. I don't really know.
Yeah.
But he, Samsora has like quite a good work ethic. But even Samsora was like, look, I have to stream other things. I have to stream and entertain my viewers and stuff because like
you need to make
that's the way I sustain a living. And then like obviously Leffen does the same. Like I think I like Leffen. I think he's like a necessary evil. But he, like I said, I disagree with him 90% of the time. It's just he has bad takes, but he has takes, and he stands for what he believes in, and for that I respect, even if it's wrong.
Yeah.
And he's interesting to watch, and like I said, he brings so much viewership to Smash because of the character he is and his participation in other fighting games as well. Like I think that's a big thing. I think my issue with Smash is like people just play Smash. They don't go play other fighting games. That's fine. Like you don't have to play other fighting games. But Leffen, he does play other fighting games and he enjoys them and he wants to be the best at them. Every game he plays, he wants to be the best at, and I think that's quite admirable.
It definitely
if not a bit impractical. Because even like now, he wants to be really good at Ultimate, but he struggles to find he basically can't really afford to put the time in, because if he puts too much time into Ultimate, melee play will suffer, and if he gets bad at melee, he doesn't, if he stops making like top 3, then he isn't going to be sustaining himself very well, Yeah,
definitely.
And obviously for him, I think being top 3, being the best is so big for him that, I think, I really don't want Leffen to quit Ultimate. I still want to play him, he's really fun to watch.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe just pick an easier character. Just pick a character you don't have to grind out, like hours to learn 3 different characters to play. Like, I don't know. Anyway.
And I feel,
I don't know if you want to be closing on Leffen and Smash Drama before we go into Hero.
Generally, I disagree with him on the hero ban. I don't think the character should be banned. I just think he should be nerfed into the ground or not exist in the first place.
I mean, yes.
He's not that bad. A lot of the random elements can somewhat be reacted to. I know he's going to chastise me for saying that if he saw it. But
yeah, I'm going to say, you don't... Ben will be listening to this. He's going to block me on Twitter, even though he hasn't done it yet. I have replied a couple of times to him, so I'm doing well. He doesn't like any of my tweets, though.
It's been a while.
Still feels bad.
Feels bad, man. I don't know. I just think the character is uncompetitive to some extent. I just don't think anyone's going to play him. And it'd be better if he didn't exist.
Like I said, I think it's not competitive in a good and bad way. Because even if you're really good at the game, his RNG, everyone sees his RNG the wrong way. Like his RNG. You know what? Let's go into the hero topic now. So everyone sees his RNG the wrong way. So obviously, it actually nerfs him. It doesn't make him better. Like if he had option to his best tools all the time, he'd be the best character in the game. Like it wouldn't be much of a question. So you shouldn't be like, oh fuck, he actually apart from crits obviously and thwack RNG, which okay, that is the worst part about RNG fighting against RNG you can't control, and I think Hero embodies that too well, because down B you can't control. You can react to it and stuff, but it's not quite the same, if you compare it to Faust RNG, Faust, if you throw an item, you see the item, you then react to the item, and you know how to play accordingly to that item. If he throws a black hole, it doesn't immediately start sucking you in. It has to land, and then it goes in, starts sucking you, and then I mean, there's not really much else to it other than get sucked in, and if he hits you and he opens you up, you can get a huge punish. But you got the same advantage, and that's it. If he gets the, I guess the comets, that's a big one. you
Golden
can see the
Hammer's
item coming.
pretty good.
Yeah, you can see it coming, and obviously there is a counterplay. You got to get out of where the comets are coming. But obviously the fouls can counterplay that and try and block stick, keep you in the corner or wherever you're at. Obviously there's counterplay you can do to that, and like, yeah, basically the point is you can react to that RNG. Heroes you can't. Like, you can if you read the menu, but it's not visually there. Like, you can't react to the move that's coming out. There's no way. Like, other than maybe Hatchet Man and Snooze if you're far enough away, and Zoom and stuff like that. Like, his RNG is just like unreactable. I think that's where the problem comes in. It's non-competitive because, like, again, if you're a good player, you're not going to play hero because you just don't. Yeah, he's just not good. He's like a mid tier. But again,
the problem is that he can be played in such a way where you can't react. In that you just mash down B and just click whatever the first one is. And that is kind of bullshit in a way, but also if you don't know either. Like,
I think it's more often going to lead to him being a benefit rather than being a deficit.
Yeah.
But it's still like, whatever. Okay, I'm just gonna preface this by saying, like, I haven't actually had a chance to play against Hero or anything, so take everything I say like I just have to watch, and from what I've heard and Twitter and you and various other people,
it's unfun.
Yeah. So I mean, I have played like 2 months. Actually, literally last night I had a dream about Smash. It's getting that bad. I had a dream that I was playing Ryu and I was just fucking styling on people. It was great. It was a good dream, good time. Anyway, it's back to Hero.
Just get a Switch.
I'm getting right. When I get back to England, I can't get one when I'm here in Spain. But yeah. Okay, yeah. Like, okay, so this is how I would fix it. Okay.
Yeah.
For one, nerf is neutral speed. Actually, I don't know if this needs to be done with my change, but I think it does too much. The knockback, why is it so high? That's what I don't know. It can do that much damage.
It's
sure.
insane.
If I think about other charge shots, like, charge shots are strong. They kill you like pretty early. Like, like if I try and compare another, but it's just like because it's a resource. Why is it? It doesn't have to kill that much earlier. Like, it's just It does like 40%. Side B, okay. I can maybe make the full charge side B and medium side charge B just take a little bit longer. I think it might be fine. I think it's okay that they do so much damage because kind of hard to land like the full hit of those charge side B that isn't just a full punish.
And it's got easy counterplay.
Yeah,
it's not.
And the medium side B you can react to, like maybe edge guard you with it.
Yeah, maybe tone down the hitbox on the fully charged side B.
Yeah,
it's got lots of invisible hitboxes. It's big.
I know it's big, but I know like it basically doesn't kill you at 30. You don't get hit by all the hitboxes. So
yeah,
that's why I'm not
quite
real upset with it.
easy to get hit by them all.
Oh, really?
Another thing is people will always jump in and try and punish it, and you shouldn't do that.
Right.
You will get hit and then you'll die. Yeah, but
okay.
It's a fine-ish move. It's very annoying, taking fucking 45% from one move is annoying.
But it costs a lot of mana, right?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so here's my proposed changes, at least to his down. Okay, crit RNG, get the fuck out of it. Either make it like weaker,
I do not want that,
or make it really unlikely. Like, I don't know. I don't know if it's worse if it's really unlikely, because then when you do get crit, you're like, fuck. But it means like at least you're gonna be dying to it. Like, okay, you tell me, how often do you die to like a crit?
1 in every 10 games versus Hero, maybe.
Okay, like where a normal Smash wouldn't kill, like 1 in every 10.
Yeah, about that.
Okay. I can.
It's not nuts.
Maybe it's not that good. I don't know. I haven't really had a chance to play with it, so
it's
I've just seen highlights.
I don't get hit by Smash attacks often.
Okay, don't let it crit on shield. Don't crit on shield. That's it. Okay, no more.
Yeah, I think
shield.
That's done. Only crit on
Okay, so down B. This is how it should work. It should have systematic randomness. Option 1 should be your situational one. They only occur under certain circumstances, but they always occur under those circumstances.
Okay.
And if you hit none of the requirements to any of the situational spells, it just becomes hocus pocus, so you can just roll the dice if you want.
Fair enough.
So, for example, I think Magic Burst should be a situational spell that you can only get when you're at 100 mana, so that means it always costs 100 mana. Okay, yeah, you always have access to it when you're at, like, from spawn, but you can play around it then, because if he's got 100 mana, he can use Magic Burst. You can play around it. Maybe sometimes you're at the ledge and he's got 100 mana and you die. Like, okay, maybe it can be toned down a little bit. I think maybe it's too strong, but I mean, it doesn't really matter. If he uses it at the ledge, even if you made it like half as weak, it'd still kill you. So I don't feel too bad about it. And it does cost 100 mana. In this case, he's not going to be able to use it again for like a long time.
Or
an option 2. Alright, okay, actually, let's go through all the situational ones. If you're off stage, the first option always becomes Zoom. That way you don't have to like play around him like maybe getting Zoom. You can actually try and like predict it if he goes for it.
It's still a 50-50, right?
Kind of. It's still hard to punish,
right?
Like
but
specifically.
That seems fair.
But that way you can like he has that option when he's off stage, rather than having to take the chance that maybe he'll get it.
Yeah. I think with that, maybe increase mana cost as well, because it's not too much, I don't think.
Okay. But Kamikaze also make that an optional one. The only occurs when you're over 100%. So if you're over 100%, the first option is always Kamikaze or something like that. Or maybe if you're
like that,
or maybe if you're a stock up or something like that. Like maybe so like let's say if you got one stock, it doesn't appear. Like regardless.
Okay.
Also you just lose if you use it.
I like that.
Make Thwack and Whack only appear. I think make Whack's the weaker one, right? Make Whack only appear if your opponent is above 80%, let's say.
Okay.
And then either make it immediately kill at 80 or still leave it as a potential chance.
Yeah.
And then make Whack only appear when they're at 100 and then make it always kill. So your option 1 will always become Whack and maybe reduce the hitbox size because I know it's quite big.
Yeah.
And then I think that's all the situational spells I can think of.
I like the sound of that
right now. And then option 2.
And then the rest will be random.
No. Option 2 will always be slash spells. So it will be a chance of getting the free slash, flame slash, and metal slash. Oh, actually, one of the situational spells I wanted to do, I wasn't sure about it if I should keep it in the slash spot or the other one. If your opponent is shielding, the first option will always be Hatchet Man.
What, Hatchet Man? Yeah.
So let's say if you're jumping and your opponent holds shield as you're jumping in, like at the moment that you press down B, if they're shielding, you can just instantly press Hatchet Man and they can react with a spot dodge. Because if you're shielding, if you hear this is the one thing I want to do. If you can hear the down B's noise, you know what, and you can hear the arrow going up and down, right?
You know what's coming.
Yeah, if you can hear him go down twice, you can have an idea of what he's going to do. So if you press down B, you don't hear the arrow move, you know he's going to go for that situational spell, which, okay. And this also helps the language barrier, but I'll come full circle in a minute. Yeah. So again, option 2, all the slashes. So it's a random chance of getting free slash, flame slash, metal slash as well. Like it's random, but so you can get.
I'd put Hatchet Man in there personally. Okay.
Yeah.
I think having it
possibly
limited to when they're shielding is a bit too tenuous, I guess.
Yeah.
I think it'd be too on the.
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Because actually that does make more sense because you don't want to just hit them when you're shielding. Like it's a good move to hit even when they're not, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and I think that's all the slashes, right? Option 3 will always be all the projectiles. So you get kaboom, sizzle, boom, snooze. Those are the 4 when you roll, right?
Yeah.
And it'll just be any one of those 4. And then the 4th option will be all the boost spells. So you get, Cyclops, Accelerado,
and stuff,
and Heal. And it just randomly goes through between all those. So basically, if you want a boost spell, just scroll to the bottom one and you press it. You don't have to read it if you don't have the time.
Yeah.
And if you're the opponent, if you hear the arrow go down 3 times, you know he's on the boost spell, you know he can't hit you with it, or you can just look at where the arrow is.
Yeah.
And not have to read the spell. So you know if he's jumping in or if he's standing on the ledge and you see the arrow on the bottom one, you can probably contest him because he's not going to be able to move the arrow up and do the attack of thing.
Yeah.
Or if you're mid-range and you see the arrow 2 slots down, you can launch a projectile. So you can, because all these spells have similar counterplay, where a projectile you're going to want to shield or you're going to want to jump over, and all the slashes mean you just want to be staying at range or you want to shield them, or Hatchet Man's fine because if you see the slash one, you're going to shield it, and you see the startup, you can react to Hatchet Man. I think that's reasonable. And I think this is how I design it. And that way you can keep all his randomness, keep all his down Bs, and keep them as strong as they are. Yeah. But you can react to them. It's no longer not reactable because you know which option he's going for.
Yeah, you have a general
based
idea.
on like you don't have to read it basically. You can either listen audio, which is maybe I know Leopard's been complaining about no audio on setups, but like you can still see the arrow. You don't have to read the word.
Yeah.
And then it would just make it a lot more enjoyable playing against and as because like again. There you go.
The way counterplay versus, say, flame slash versus free slash isn't going to be different. It's the same counterplay, which is why I quite like this idea. It does, it gives you 4 different things you can counterplay to, and it's a lot easier to react to, which is really.
Well, the only one I missed is Clang, but what the fuck I do that move? Maybe put up a situational one that you can only use while you're in the air or something.
It's kind of a buff.
Oh, maybe
put it under there.
that might be, that might be why you want to like.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I feel like that would be like the best way to do it because that means you know what you want to look for. Like I don't know if you want a flame slash or something, or if you want to do a slash move, you just press down once and then you don't have to go and read. Like you don't have to stop looking at your character. Like you can still do it in like whatever. You might get flame slash, you might get crackle slash or whatever it is. And that way you can keep the RNG like. And again, you literally can't get thwacked at 0 pace because it's not an option. And like you can't get magic bursted like 3 stocks in a row because you can counterplay it now because as soon as he uses any bit of mana he can't use it. So
which is good.
Now also has reliable options into it, so maybe he can combo into it or something if he has full mana or like something like that, which is kind of a downside, but I think it's a price enough to pay. Also, with the situational stuff, if you fill more than one of the requirements, it will be random. So if you got 100 mana and they're 100%, you might get thwack, you might get magic burst.
Both are pretty good. And if you get the wrong one, you shield, cancel it, and do it again. Yeah, exactly. And like maybe you can't get the same spell twice, so that would be a reliable way to like scroll through them, right? Yeah. So for example, if you shield, let's say if you got flame slash, or if you got metal slash, shield cancel it. You're at least gonna get at least flame slash, hatchet man, or for like ice. The ice. I don't know. Fuck. You'll get that one anyway. Free slash, I think. Yeah. Well, it was like crackle slash or some shit. I don't know. So like like let's say you can pull up the down B menu early, and you can look for the ones you don't want. So you can look for, like you said, metal slash, which means the next time you press it, or let's say if you get hatchet man, the next time you get flash, it's gonna be it's gonna be like something a bit more useful. So I think this is something that I think this kind of hero I'd be completely okay with being competitive, like allowed in competitive, like because everything is completely play aroundable. Like yes, he has strong options still has access to them, but it's a lot much more limited. Like maybe have to tone down like thwack, like edge framing, but like if you're going to get thwack at 100%, if he two frames you, the down smash isn't the same thing. Like you kind of think it that way. For sure. Yeah, I think that's honestly a really smart way to make this character obnoxious. And again, it gets over it doesn't entirely get over the language barrier, which is obviously one of the biggest reasons to ban him. It does help a lot in the sense of like you don't even have to in my implementation. I'm suggesting you don't even read the word; you just look at where the arrow is. And obviously, like when you got time to look at the word, you're gonna want to, because you're not gonna want to get metal slash. You're not gonna want to get clang if you're gonna boost yourself. Yeah, for sure. I like the sound of this, honestly, because it keeps the spirit of the character intact as well. Exactly, and that's important. Like, I could say like, okay, just like get rid of all of his downbeat spells and like only give him like a couple and like or make his neutral be really bad or whatever. Yeah, everything's still intact. It might cost a little bit more mana, but you have better choices. Yeah, I think some of his things are just naturally going to need to get balanced anyway, because I think the mana usage is definitely not doesn't make sense. Basically, it's a bit of an afterthought at the moment, I think, for a lot of people, and it could be better implemented. I don't know. I don't want the character to be too good, I guess, but also not too bad either. It's like a pointless statement.
I don't mind if he's good because he's interesting to watch for sure, especially if he was implemented like I suggested. But yeah, I don't think Nintendo's going to do that. I think they're just going to nerf him into the ground, frankly.
Yeah, no, they absolutely are. But oh well.
All right. Well, on the topic of DLC characters, then, what were your? There's 2 more challenges we're gonna get. Right? Is that 2? Right? Yeah.
I think so. I need to.
Joker.
I think.
What?
I need to wrap up now. I think.
Oh, really? Okay, no problem. We can save that for I got a bit carried away.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. We can talk about some more stuff some other time. Yeah. Cool. Well.
Nice.
I don't really know how to wrap these kind of things up. There's probably going to be some jazzy outro music happening around this time, but I don't know if they. Well, where do they find you? I guess.
We'll probably upload this to SoundCloud or YouTube.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna be uploading this to like various things. Also, there may be or may not be some terrible Guilty Gear gameplay in the background. So
God.
do not judge us. We haven't played Guilty Gear much, and it's a hard game. Okay.
It is.
Next time we should just play Eunice because like we can actually play that game, or like
much better.
Probably BlazBlue as well. We can do that.
Yeah. But that's probably something we'll come on to next time is fighting games.
Yeah, we didn't get a chance this time, so...
How they play into the FG and how Smash plays into how much we fucking love them and
yeah,
how great they are, to be honest. Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for listening, I think.
Yeah.
We appreciate any feedback. Like I said, this is like the first time we tried doing something like this, so not really sure how well it's going to go, but
we'll find out.
Cool.
All right. Good night.